In the story of cybercrime in South Africa, a chilling new chapter unfolded when a remarkable young woman found herself the victim of a brutal attack.
There's so many different ways that a criminal or a person with bad intent can target and can compromise a person using technology. It's difficult to try and establish who the person is behind the computer.
Loved and respected by all who knew her, Rozlynn van der Vyver seemed destined for an outstanding future.
She was an interesting mixture of experience and youth.
She is just unique in the true sense of the word.
We all thought at that point she's going to come out of it and everything will be fine. But obviously that was not the case.
People sometimes don't realize just how dangerous it can be.
We were shocked, and I think we're still today shocked. We still need answers. We need closure on this whole tragedy.
Rozlynn van der Vyver, or Roz to everyone who knew her, was born in the small farming community of Bedford in South Africa's Eastern Cape province. There she attended Templeton High School and left a lasting impression.
And we always knew that maybe she will go into the drama field, even TV. I always had that feeling that that is where Rozlynn might end up one day.
There's Rozlynn. She was already a prefect in grade 11. It also shows her leadership ability, that she was already a leader in her grade 11 year.
Yeah, she had a passion for the nature, she had a passion for sports, she had passion for drama, she had passion just to sing. She tried everything, and what she tried, she was the best.
She decided in her matric year that she would like to study drama. And of course my husband was very, very much against it. He wanted her to be a teacher or something like that, you know. But there was no stopping her.
It was at a Stellenbosch University residence that Roz would meet fellow student Anel, and the two would become best friends for life.
I always thought Roz was the most highly intelligent person I've ever come across. Studying drama, you've got long days because there's a lot of practicals, and yet she would still find time to come home and quickly study and then sort of almost ace all her tests. And you knew if you were going out with her, you were going to have fun. She just loved the theatre. And I think that's also, because it's her passion, she didn't mind, you know, when she went full-blown into it, to do literally 24-hour days. Her first job was at the theatre on the Bay, because she did more the technical side, so she was a lighting manager working in the technical box.
Soon, with her talent and ambition, Roz landed her dream job behind the scenes at one of South Africa's top theatres.
I met Roz the very first day she joined the Baxter Theatre Centre. I thought she was fun. She was an interesting mixture of experience and youth. And she wanted to make a good impression. She wanted to do a great job. And all she really wanted to do was learn the ropes.
Roz was the person who made all things work in the Baxter. She was a consummate organizer, and she was a people person. Since Roz has moved on, I think there are 3 or 4 people doing what Roz used to do here.
Despite a hectic work schedule, Roz still found time to help people through the Theatre Benevolent Fund.
The Theatre Benevolent Fund is a very active committee of people who have the best interests of people who are down and out at heart, thespians who've fallen on hard times. And Roz was just the perfect person to be on that committee. She's extremely compassionate. She knew who they were. Well, she would go and visit the beneficiaries and make sure they were okay. There was one person who sometimes needed help bathing, that sort of thing. She would help bath and help with sanitation and very basic needs. And she was always there for her people.
It was 2009, the end of 2009, that she finished at the Baxter. And I think definitely to the end, I remember her saying a few times that she feels she needs to move on, make a change.
I first realized that she was wanting to leave because she had been there for a great many years and she wanted to move on. She was looking for a job that paid a little better as well. But she often mentioned it. I didn't actually think she was ever going to do it.
I think she also felt maybe a little bit burnt out emotionally. So it was probably gradual, but then I think to the end it was a little bit, maybe it was more abrupt than I would have expected it to be. I think initially when she stopped working there, she probably enjoyed the little bit of freedom she had. But then I think the novelty wore off quite soon. And obviously she applied for jobs in the theatre industry, and especially with her qualifications and what she's been doing, it's not always easy to find a job. As time went on, she started struggling more and more.
I gather it was difficult, you know. She never said how worried she was, but I know that she used to say that she'd applied for many jobs, you know, many different theatre jobs, as it were, and everyone would say that she was too highly qualified.
As the months went by, Roz's hope for a new position in the theatre world seemed to grow further and further out of reach.
Overqualified.
Her emotional state was definitely on a downward spiral. She would have good days, some days where she phoned you and like, let's do something, and then other days where, you know, you can just hear she's really struggling. Unfortunate thing about Roz was because she was so used to giving, she really found it hard to receive.
She phoned me on the Sunday, and she said that she'd entered a Gumtree advertisement. I didn't even know what a Gumtree advertisement was.
In late August 2011, Roz responded to an ad for an after-hours stock-taking position placed on Gumtree, an online classified site popular with job hunters.
So I was quite shocked in the sense that she went for something like that. Then he tells me that, why did she go there? Maybe she needed money to go because she was now without the work.
At that point in her life, she was, you know, looking after people's dogs when they were away, working at a video shop, literally doing anything and everything to, you know, just bring in some money.
Roz had no way of knowing that by responding to a simple job offer online, she would be drawn into a deadly criminal scheme.
Every country's got their own definitions, but I think the simple way of looking at cybercrime is really traditional crime being committed using technology. Where it maybe gets a bit grey is where traditional crime is committed using technology to maybe lure the victim. I think when you're online, you have to be extra vigilant around validating who it is you're talking to.
The job ad Roz responded to described casual work at a well-known shopping complex, with all transport conveniently arranged. But details of what actually happened to her that night are vague. According to Roz, on that Sunday night, she left home for an 8:30 appointment at the shopping complex. After arriving at the job location, it seems she was told there were no more positions available. Roz was then drugged, and the last thing she remembered was being hit on the head. Later that night, she was raped and left for dead. More than 6 hours passed before Roz finally regained consciousness in a field on the other side of the city. Surprisingly, she still had her cell phone and managed to call for help.
And she was just repeating that, yeah, she was attacked. So I couldn't get much details. I knew something about a bus and that she got knocked over the head, and she was found and she woke up in Tableview. And at that point I didn't want to ask too many questions because that wasn't the main thing to worry about.
Roz had managed to get home and was taken to a local hospital for treatment. A rape kit was done and the semen of 4 men was found. But, crucially, Roz did not make a police statement immediately after the attack. Afterwards, Roz was sent home to a Nell's house for recovery.
She was very ill, the Tuesday. She was throwing up the whole time because she got antiretrovirals and antibacterial medication from the hospital. It was very difficult getting information, and also you don't want to pry too much because you know she must have been through a hell of a time. So, you know, you might ask a question here or there, or she might, out of her own accord. I mean, I was always just hoping she would just come and tell me eventually. But even in the beginning, I suppose, because of the medication and the trauma and maybe the knock to the head, it was very much disjointed.